what's the most powerful literary quote that has stayed with you?
Tough times don't last, tough people do. That nobody in this world is unwilling to learn.
How can schools prepare students for jobs that don't exist?
We can't prepare the job.
If Jane Austen and Charles Dickens had a debate, what do you think who would win?
Well, you see, both of them are very katila.
If you could teach a class to aliens, what subject would you choose?
English, my favorite subject,
Favorite actor?
Salman Khan.
Don't tell me. Favorite food?
Pizza, anytime. And I don't share my pizza with anybody.
Grammar mistake that drives you crazy.
The use of the
If you were a vegetable, what would be you?
spinach.
If ghost could text, what's the first thing they would say you?
Hello, Didi.
Welcome to the Voice of Leadership podcast where wisdom meets wits. Today we have a powerhouse in the field of education. Please welcome Ms. Charu Srivastava ma'am. She is a poet, an author, a TEDx speaker, CBSE master trainer who has shaped the learnings of thousands of people. But beyond all these accolades, what drives her passion? I mean, what sets her apart is her unwavering passion for empowering students and educators alike. So, I'm really very excited to know more about her. So, without wasting time, let's get started. Welcome, ma'am, to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amita.
My
It's been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
My pleasure, also, ma'am. So, ma'am, my first question for you is what's the most powerful lesson you have learned from training educators?
Well, the most powerful lesson I have learned from training educators is that they really are willing. That's one thing. So, you see, a lot of trainers who go and take training for mentors or teachers in school, they go with a mental block that teachers don't want to learn, or they don't have time to learn, or they're not willing to learn, and they are not willing to empower themselves. That is not the case. I have trained more than 2,500 teachers across the country. And whenever I go, and when I tell them that, look, I'm going to tell you not as to what is to be done, but how it is to be done. So I'm going to share some strategies जो जाके class में बस कर लेना.
Right.
So you see their lights, their eyes light up, and they are always ready to learn. They are always ready to ask questions. So this is something I've learned throughout my trainings, that nobody in this world is unwilling to learn. Everybody wants to excel and do well. That's one thing I have learned.
Okay, that's incredible. I mean, that's super impressive. And what's the most unexpected thing you have learned from students?
Well, they are a bag of surprises all day. And I think what I have learned about students is they understand our world so well.
Okay.
In fact, we fail to understand what the world that they live in, right from technology to their thought processes to how to manage them. Why are they stressed? What are they so stressed about? But they understand us so well. They can read your face. I mean, my students, while I was a teacher, they used to make out that, oh, ma'am is not well. Ma'am is upset. Ma'am has not done her hair very well, which means ma'am is very upset. Then I used to get them to solve my problems for curriculum transaction. I used to ask them, look, so much syllabus is left. How do I go about it? Ma'am, let's do this, let's do that. And they used to solve my problems. So they have always been my army. So, and the way they understand our problems, be it personal, be it professional, they are ready to solve it because they are full of solutions.
Wow. So that's a very nice statement. A nice phrase, in fact, bag of
Surprises.
surprises. Bag of surprises. Okay, cool. You have been part of drafting, CBSE standards also. So what's one rule you wish you would change?
Assessments. Because CBSE is an assessment body,
Hmm.
and they are, although very
Hmm.
progressive,
Hmm.
I don't think there is any other government organization which is working for curriculum development, teacher empowerment, and assessments which is as progressive as CBSE. They are very, very progressive. But yes, the kind of question papers that are drafted, the
Hmm.
kind of uh, that come for the children in the board examinations, the board pattern, like now they have come out with 2 board examinations. I think this
Hmm.
has to change. So on
Okay.
policy level, they could change, but in terms of intention, in terms of deliverables, they are doing a fantastic job.
Okay. And how do you balance, traditional teaching with modern ed tech, especially with the invention of ChatGPT?
I don't balance. I mix them mix them up. So you see, you have to see wherein to bring what in and in what proportion. So sometimes thing lecture method works.
Okay.
Sometimes bringing technology is a must.
Okay.
Otherwise, your 21st century learners are not going to accept you in the classroom. So a fine balance and customization of both in whatever proportion that is required is what I feel should be implemented.
Okay. If someone has never read poetry before, which poet should they start with?
I would suggest read William Blake.
Okay.
He is a romantic poet, not romantic in the romantic sense, but he belongs to the romantic age of
Mhm.
poetry. And the way he writes for all ages of people. He writes for children, he writes for adults, he writes religious poetry, he writes funny poems, he writes children, poetry for children, poetry about children. So be it a teacher, be it a doctor, be it a child of 4 or 5 years of age, Blake has a poem for everyone, and he writes in such simple language
Yeah.
that it's so easy to comprehend, and it's so much fun to read him.
Hmm.
So I think Blake is someone I would recommend to
So
everybody.
simplicity is the best key, like, the way he has
Yes.
written. I
Yes.
think I also have read his poems, and I think one of them is the Tiger.
Tiger, Burning Bright.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Black Boy or something like that he works in a
Yes.
coal mine. And
Yes.
the
Which is the chimney
comparison,
sweeper.
the chimney sweeper,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You picked that. So I mean that comparison, I mean all the metaphors and similes throughout the poem. That's fantastic.
Yes.
You get completely engrossed in that.
Yes. He is a fantastic poet.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the most powerful literary quote that has stayed with you?
Tough times don't last, tough people do.
Okay.
That is something I live by.
Okay.
And there's another one which is by somebody, I still don't know who wrote it, but it stays very close to my heart. That is, no guts, no glory, and no legend, no story.
Wow.
So unless and until you put your head and heart into something, I don't think you're going to get glory, or you're not going to get wisdom, whatever, however way you want to put it.
This is impressive. No guts, no glory, guys. It's for the future generation, and especially people like us. No guts, no glory. So just, push your, passion a lot. Push your limits. So you have to become unstoppable. Then, because if you have got guts, then only you will get a glory. So I think she has aptly said this. Okay. If Jane Austen and Charles Dickens had a debate, what do you think? Who would win?
Well, you see, both of them are, if I may use the word Hindi, both of them are very katila. Both of them love to criticize.
Okay.
They can be very critical of the society.
Hmm.
But like I, believe that women always win. So yes, Jane Austen for sure, because she has a little bit of meetha in her khatta.
Hmm.
So, and Charles Dickens is, he can be very edgy at times, but then
Hmm.
yes, Jane Austen.
He
will take
talks
the
more
cake of-
about the society, and Jane
Well,
Austen.
even Jane Austen,
Yeah.
won, and although she's been considered a feminist
Yeah.
writer,
Yeah.
but yes, as far as the language is concerned, because I'm a language person, so I not only look at story and characters, I also look at the way it has been put.
Hmm.
And I always believe that whatever you say, you have to choose your words wisely.
Hmm.
If you're saying something but you're not using the right vocabulary, then everything goes for a toss. So yes, the way you write matters a lot for me. That is one reason why I would pick up a book.
Yeah.
Jane Austen writes, better
Better.
than Dickens.
So Jane Austen. So if you could hear us, if you could hear what she said, so you are the winner. Okay. If you could have a dinner with any classic author, who would it be and why?
Classic author. It could be. It could be. I mean, I wouldn't say classic author. I would. I would really love to have dinner with John Donne. He is a metaphysical poet, and my favorite. So I would love to talk to him. I would love to sit with him and understand the world he lives in, and him telling me. So I would love to interact with John Donne.
Okay. I think he wrote some sonnets and all that.
Yes, he's famous for his sonnets.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you remember all your, literature.
Oh,
and you
absolutely. I
are
am in love
into
with my
language.
subject. Yeah, really.
Okay, that's interesting. And if you could create a rule for all schools in India, what would it be?
Please love children. You see, that's where it's not that we don't want to.
Mhm.
It's not that we don't, have the intention to.
Mm.
But in the, the mundane, patterns that we all have to follow in school, sometimes we lose it. And that should be a rule,
Mm.
written somewhere that, unless and until you have love for children, you'll not be recruited as a teacher. Unless and until you have love for your subject and love for your children, you will not be, allowed to go into the classroom.
Yeah.
So be it the corridor, be it the classroom, be it after school, you have to have love for children. And mind you, it can be developed. I was a person who never wanted to be a teacher. So there was this one person in my life who came in like a magician,
Okay.
and she is like a godmother to me. She turned me around 360 degrees. She made me fall in love with teaching of English. She made me first fall in love with children. She said, if you don't love them, and she gave me a mantra कि चारू हम करवाएंगे तो बच्चे करेंगे और करवाने का एक ही तरीका है, that is with love. So unless and until you have that love, that bond, that connection with the children, you will not be able to transact your subject. So I think love for children is a mandate.
Love has its own language.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But sometimes it happens that the children, they are very irritating or they irate you. So in that case, like, I mean, have you, like, what kind of things you do usually? Because people like me, I usually lose my temper. So I तो बस लगा दूँ
Oh no.
तो
You should not be in school. Corporal punishment is banned.
तो फिर क्या करे ऐसे उसमें?
कुछ नहीं करे, सुनो. See, it also has to do with you. If you are at peace,
हाँ.
if you are a non-panicky person, if you do not lose your temper on small things, and if you don't get distracted easily, if it's not easy to move you like that, if you're hard as rock, and you maintain your level of patience, and I don't think they can bother you. Because most of the time when they're, troubling you, so to say, they are seeking attention, nothing else. They just have something in them which they would like to show you. And how do they show you? They're children. They're not going to come to you and talk to you about it. They're going to do something menacing. And if they don't menace, तो फिर वो बच्चे किस काम के हैं? तो you see, मैं तो बच्चों को क्लास में कहती हूँ, तुम शोर क्यों नहीं मचा रहे हो?
Wow.
शैतानी क्यों नहीं कर रहा है बच्चा? अगर वो शैतानी नहीं कर रहा तो वो बच्चा गड़बड़ है. So you see, children have to be menacing. Children have to have that that spark. They have, and all of us should have our child within. I mean, so many years have passed. Even there are members in my family who behave in a childish manner at times, but what to do? I mean, that they have their child alive in them. So I think it's just that you stand still, you listen to them, you watch them, you respond and not react. Like this thappad marna is a reaction. But if you just stand and listen to them and give them a look, it's not working, they'll understand. So I think patience is the key there.
Patience, I think
And that will only come when you are at calm, when you are at peace.
But love and patience, I would say.
तो sometime when it doesn't work with my teachers, I tell them 1 to 10 count कर लो मन में. जब काउंट कर लोगे तो गुस्सा ठंडा हो जाएगा, या जाके ठंडा पानी पियाया करो. But you cannot take it out on children.
Seriously. Okay. What's one completely useless skill you have?
Useless skill. Well, I can sleep at any point in time, but I don't think it's useless because it gives me happiness. And according to a lot of people, I'm a very impulsive shopper.
Okay.
So I would pick up anything I want, even though if I don't require it, I will pick it up. Oh, ye अच्छा लग रहा है, let's buy.
Online?
Online, offline, doesn't matter.
Okay.
हाँ, for me, retail therapy is the therapy. So either you sleep, or you eat, or you go shopping.
Okay.
So these, according to some people, are useless, but not according to me. I love myself. So I don't think I have a skill that is useless for me, at least. Others, they can manage on their own. Like my father always used to say, अगर तुम्हें problem है तो अपनी आंखें बंद कर लो. But I will do what I like. So I don't think I have a useless skill.
Okay. And if you could replace school bells with a song, what song would it be?
Can't think of anyone right now. A song. Maybe a tune would do. I mean, not really a song, because lyrics can go a little haywire, and they can be misleading, and everybody will have. So maybe some instrumental music could replace the shrilly bell.
Okay. I think that's a trend which is
Yes.
prevalent since ages. That
Yes.
it's the same bell.
It's the same bell. You could have some instrumental music in place of that.
Okay.
And that could be coupled with some transition time of 5 minutes, where the children get some time to relax and then come back to their studies and be ready for the next subject. So that can be done.
Okay. And what's your say on online book writing platforms? And do you think that you have seen such platforms?
Yes, of course. I think they're fun because you see, accept it or not, children have lost the skill of writing, and they do not like writing, in their notebooks or books, or they don't like to fill long answers.
Okay.
So, and they're very good at typing. So it's not that their thought processes have stopped. It's just that they have lost the habit of writing them down with a pen and a paper and a pencil. So when they type, they are faster. Their mind, their fingers can move in tandem with their minds, because sometimes we feel the mind runs faster than the hand, but with fingers you can at least think. So I think it's a great platform, and children can explore and they can add so much more. They can add animations, they can add pictures, they can what if like for example, when I held a book writing session in my class, one of the children, he did not want to write. So
Okay.
he said, but I can express through pictures. So he created a picture story. And there
Okay.
are such good platforms available. Bookalooza is one, which is giving so many benefits to the child. I mean, not only will it get the opportunity to write and to get the book published, but also when it gets published and it is available on these Flipkarts and Amazons, then definitely that other people will also get to read what this child is
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
So for the child who's at that age would feel, oh, I'm famous, but it's actually the idea sharing, the wisdom sharing, and
Yeah.
he or she is creating a ripple effect by sharing his or her ideas, which might or might not impact others who read the books. So I think they're great platforms.
Okay. So, to all our viewers, Bookalooza, it's an online platform for children where they can write their books and become published authors at a young age. So, do check out this platform. Do explore this platform. You never know, your child can become a star author at us. Thank you. Okay. And if you could teach a class to aliens, what subject would you choose?
English, my favorite subject, and I have been an English teacher. So
Okay.
I would always go on to teach a literary prose or a poetry piece.
Okay. So, for aliens also.
Yes, given a chance, any day, any day. I mean, being a principal now, whenever I enter a class, and if I have to, if the class is going vacant, or there's a free period, and if I'm free to take that class, I teach them English. I teach them language skills. It's my favorite subject. So whenever I get a chance, it will be English for sure.
Okay. And I would also like to join that class, how the aliens are being taught. Okay. If you could rename the subjects in school, what funny names you have? Anything in mind?
Yes, maybe I could replace. Now it's the time for technology, so maybe I can have subjects replaced with emojis, so children
Okay.
would get a benefit of the emotion that comes along with the subject. But
Okay.
again, if I give names or if I give emojis, then it's going to get very subjective.
Mhm.
Like for maths, I will always give a sad smiley or a confused smiley
Yeah.
because I do not,
Same here.
maths and I don't get along. So for English, I'll give a heart shaped eyes and or maybe a full heart,
Yeah.
red heart. So yes, children would
All the
probably
good emojis would go to English
yes,
then.
yes, for sure. English and history, these are the subjects I really admire. I really love them.
Yeah. Okay. If schools had a nap period for teachers, what would be the ideal duration?
I think half an hour is good.
Half an hour?
Yes, half an hour is good.
Okay.
That's probably the time duration when they get their free period and they get to sit down. I think the kind of rejuvenation they experience in that time, when they have to nap, they don't have to check notebooks or they don't have to go for substitutions or sit in the staff room and talk and grab a bite. When they get to sleep for half an hour, they'll feel very relaxed.
Okay. And what's the secret to making school a place where kids love to learn?
Make your classrooms engaging, love them. So, when you love your children, when you love your subject, when you transact the curriculum the way children learn, children want to learn, when you follow, various kind of strategies to make sure that the last learner or the last backbencher who is not interested also ends up doing something and finds in every subject, every lesson, every topic that what is in it for me? What do I have to do with this? That's when I think a successful classroom will take place. And coupled with all the other opportunities, such as book writing,
Yeah.
such as public speaking, personality development, communication classrooms, skill subjects, you can introduce them to financial literacy, you can introduce them to entrepreneurship. When you give them opportunities to express themselves in various fields, some of them are good in art forms, some of them are good in sports, some of them are good in other areas. So you see, when you give them an opportunity and appreciate them at every juncture. So I remember one principal many years ago told me that I would like to build a school where even if appreciation is not granted, everybody works well. I used to have an argument with him and say, "Sir, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता." Because even at this age, even at old age, people seek appreciation. They look into your eyes and they're
Yeah.
looking for a
Yeah.
for an appreciation. It's a smile, small, simple effort that you can make. So when you put up the student work in the classroom, for example, don't put up only the best work, put up all the work.
Right.
So every child feels respected
Yeah.
and then feels also that my teacher is unbiased. She respects all the children equally. So on one string, all the worksheets are hung. There is no one upper or niche or the best one outside, and there is another line where all the rest of the worksheets are pasted. So when you have things like these small gestures of patting them or some smiling at them, looking at them, observing them, talking to them through eyes, and transacting the curriculum the way they want to learn, and offering them plethora of opportunities,
Hmm.
then the children would love coming to school.
So I think we need to make the sessions quite interactive and
Yes, absolutely.
engaging,
Absolutely.
because every person wants to be engaged these days, whether it's
See, like
reading
I
or
told you in the
anything.
beginning
Yeah.
about teachers, I tell this to my teachers that every child wants to excel.
Yes.
No child wants to not do well.
Hmm.
Every child wants to do well. You just have to find out the way they have to do well.
Hmm.
Of course, it's tough.
Yeah.
Let me be very honest, it's tough.
Yeah.
For a teacher having a class of 40 students, it's very, very tough to find out, अब मैं इसके लिए क्या करूँ, अब कितने remedials plan करूँ. It's very tiring. But then you see, if you take it as a burden, then it is a burden. But if you take it as a responsibility, then you're at it.
And it enhances your creativity also, I
Yes,
believe.
yes. See, it happens only if
Yeah.
you care.
Yeah.
If something is not working out in our homes or in our
Mhm.
personal life, we make an effort to work it around.
Yeah.
The same is the case with children. You make an effort to work it around. You have to find a way, the way the children learn. And now, thanks to internet, thanks to books, thanks to Chat GPT, है ना, that we have so many strategies coming out. If you want to generate a lesson plan, you tell Chat GPT, generate a lesson plan on photosynthesis for grade 5 on so and so subtopic. The entire lesson plan is in front of you. So you have so many resources with you. You just have to implement them and add your own masala to it if you want to. So it's very easy.
Ultimately, human content is better.
Absolutely.
You can take the prompts, you can take the inspiration from ChatGPT, but the human principle, the human teacher, that's always
Yes, that
required.
can, because you see that pat on the head
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
That adds the human touch. So I always tell my teachers, with high tech, bring in your high touch. Very important.
Right.
Otherwise, it will not work.
Right. Okay. And how can schools prepare students for jobs that don't exist?
We can't prepare the children. Let's be honest. We can't prepare because we don't know ourselves what jobs are going to be there. But we can definitely give them and empower them with skills of decision making,
Hmm.
of adaptability, of
Hmm.
being flexible, that will enable them to take up, to a world which they have never seen.
Hmm.
Like we tell our teachers, keep yourselves abreast with latest technology, with latest strategies of teaching, so that when something new comes up, you are ready.
Right.
And then sometimes we tell them that, look, always carry 2 lesson plans to the classroom, because if one doesn't work, the second one will work.
Hmm.
Plan B hamesha hona chahiye. So you see,
Hmm.
we train the teachers. Similarly, we have to train our children that you have not seen what the world is going to look like. You can only predict. Predictions can go wrong. But what you can do is become a human being who's flexible and adaptable. So whatever comes your way, you will have to accept it, find goodness into it, and become a person who will find solutions rather than focusing on problems.
Right.
So we can just equip them on skills. We can't really train them. That they will have to learn themselves. So learnability is one more skill that they have to have.
Hmm.
Children cease to learn after a certain age कि अब मेरी
Yeah.
पढ़ाई हो गई, अब मैं
हाँ.
नौकरी करूंगा या नौकरी करूंगी. Now that's it. They stop reading. They stop looking at the world in a the way they used to when they were in school.
Hmm.
So all that goes
I
for a
think
toss.
it's a lot of prevalent these days, especially with the young generation. They don't prefer to read a lot.
Hmm.
They want to make reels, they want to go out, but they don't want to read. I think
It's just the priority towards the content. So they have to find out what interests them.
yeah.
And then you see, when my sister is 1 year younger to me.
Okay.
She is more to Kindle than a book.
Okay.
Although she values a book, she loves books around her.
Hmm.
If you want to give her a gift, give her a book. She'll be the most happy. But then you see, she also has a Kindle. She says, when I cannot have a book, I'll have a Kindle, and she's equally comfortable with a Kindle. So people of our generation have moved on to technology. And imagine these children. So you just have to find one way that they should read.
Yeah.
So either it could be sitting with a parent that, okay, you read one page, I read one page, or let's read through Kindle, or let's read articles, or
Some
read
kind of
just headlines.
activities.
So something or the other has to be there. So like I always say, find the way the child learns.
You have to find a way.
Yes.
Definitely. And what's a fun activity that every classroom should try at least once?
Fun activity in a particular subject.
Any fun activity कि एक classroom में तो हो ही.
Let the children prepare their own games.
Okay.
That I think is a lot of fun.
Okay.
I have tried and tested it with my subject
Hmm.
because I learned it when I was learning to become a teacher. So we were asked to prepare language games, and math teachers were asked to prepare math games. Science teachers were asked to prepare science games. So when we did that, our creative bent of mind was at its highest.
Hmm.
And we were like, kya kare? And then we found out the name. So my game was, for the primaries at that time, it was about putting the right is or are, these two in the to fill in the blanks.
Okay.
So I named I had two bees with the honey and the flowers and everything, and then the game was called to be or not to be.
Okay.
So be with a double E. And then, if the bee gets to get the right, fill in the blank with the right answer, she gets to take a flower and fill in her honey bottle.
Okay.
If nothing happens, then obviously her jar goes empty.
Hmm.
So to create this small game, it took me, it got me so much pleasure, and it took me some time to create this game. So I was really involved in learning, and while I did this, I've also attained a lot of concept clarity in this particular concept. So when children create their own games related to the topic or the subject that they're learning, it is they are in the process of attaining concept clarity,
Hmm.
and they also get to work together, they get creative, a lot of things happen, and then it's so much fun in the class. And then they have to be told that you have to play,
Hmm.
create games which can be played,
Right.
so then you can also play those games,
Yeah, obviously. It has
so
to
that it
be a
has a
two-way
realistic
lane.
touch. हाँ, तो बड़ा मजा आता है.
मुझे भी कुछ-कुछ इंटरेस्ट हो रहा है. So menacing children, get ready. Okay. So let's have some fire round questions. Your favorite Shakespeare play?
I'm not a Shakespeare fan, but yes,
Okay.
Hamlet is my Shakespeare play that I really like.
Best poet ever?
John Donne.
Okay. One word description of Charles Dickens.
Strict.
Favorite actor or actress?
Salman Khan.
Don't tell me. सलमान खान गया.
अगर मैं चेन्नई में बैठी होती तो मुझे रजनीकांत बोलना पड़ता. कैन यू इमेजिन? अदरवाइज अकॉर्डिंग टू चेन्नईइट्स आई हैव नो राइट टू लिव.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
Okay. Favorite food?
Favorite food? Pizza. Anytime. And I don't share my pizza with anybody.
Seriously?
Yes.
Cheese burst.
No, not cheese burst, a normal pizza. But that's one thing I don't share with anyone. Not even a slice. Not a bite. It's all mine.
Okay. No chance. Okay.
दूसरा दे दूंगी लेकिन अपना नहीं दूंगी.
Okay. 3 things you will carry on a deserted island.
3 things I'll carry on a deserted island. Music system, for sure. And if it's a deserted island with a lot of sun, then I need a towel. So because I sweat a lot. And maybe food. Yeah, food and water combined.
Okay. Books or ebooks?
Books.
Okay. Grammar mistake that drives you crazy.
The use of the.
Okay.
कहीं भी लगा देते हैं बच्चे या adults भी करते हैं ये. They don't understand that it's a definite article and where all do you have to use it. So the ka usage is something I get irritated with.
Poem that gives you goosebumps.
Poem that gives me goosebumps. Chimney Sweeper.
That's very heart touching, I would say. I don't know.
Yes, you feel for the child.
Huh. I think when I read that poem, I could visualize what was happening
Yes.
through the words.
Yes.
So engaging, so deep.
And
And-
although, I am not a fan of Charles Dickens, but it so happened in my college that after reading Chimney Sweeper,
Hmm.
the next class we had was the Dickens class.
Okay.
And we were reading The Hard Times, which is also about children.
Hmm.
And you see the misery that children used to go to during those times in London was very heartwarming. It was very overwhelming
Hmm.
because we've been very, very fortunate, with our families, with the kind of goodness that we have received,
Hmm.
the kind of manners, the kind of food, the kind of facilities that we have received from our elders. I'm very, very grateful for that. So children who don't get it, I really feel for them. I mean, it's very unfortunate.
Okay. Best book to read on a bad day.
Best book to read on a bad day, Anthem.
Okay. And favorite Netflix series or any other movie you want to name?
Favorite Netflix series? Well, I've just finished Dabba Katal.
Okay.
I really liked
That's a
it.
good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I've just finished.
Okay.
I am hooked to a lot of series. So I like, and there is one, called Made in Heaven, which I keep, going back to. So whenever I'm working and I need some TV on, that's one series I put on.
Okay.
So it's fun.
The one novel you always recommend.
The one novel you'll always, well, there are many. The Book of Laughter and Forgetting.
If William Wordsworth was on Instagram, what would he post?
I wander lonely as a cloud. Seriously, he would have said that.
Under the cloud. Okay. If you were a vegetable, what would be you?
If I was a vegetable, Well, according to some people, I'm so lazy. I am already a vegetable according to them. I don't like to. If you tell me कि यहीं बैठे रहो, तो I would have been happy sitting here with my coffee and a book. So, palak,
Spinach.
spinach,
Okay. Okay. Funniest thing to step on barefoot.
chewing gum.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
chewing gum.
so clinky.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think if you step on something, it's funny. It can be very irritating because I hate stepping on,
Hmm.
things.
If ghost could text, what's the first thing they would say you?
Goats could text me, hello,
Hello? No, they cannot be so
hello,
calm.
hello, Didi. I tell this to all my teachers, all my children that look, I am a person with invisible horns. They are red, जो आपको इंडिया गेट पे मिलते हैं वो बिल्कुल वैसे ही हैं मेरे सर पे लगे हुए हैं इनविजिबल हैं सो यू सी देयर इज अ लाइन दैट एनीबडी शुड नॉट क्रॉस नहीं तो अदरवाइज वो सींग जल जाते हैं तो फिर देन देयर इज नो स्टॉपिंग
Okay. Weirdest thing you have ever Googled?
आई डोंट रिमेम्बर एनी आई गूगल ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग because Google is the answer to everything according to me. So I Google almost everything.
It's time to wrap up the session now, and it was an incredible conversation with Charu ma'am, and her insights have been so powerful, interesting, and I would say that her humor, in fact, if I talk about her humor, sharper than that red pen correcting essays.
Now it is turned into green.
Turned into green. So, to all the viewers, do subscribe to our channel, Voice of Leadership, where we, just talk and have a fun-filled conversation with edu leaders like Charu ma'am. So, stay tuned and thanks for watching.